Welcome, our weekly walk-on show. I always enjoy doing this. Got my man Frank Sides, Jay Davis, Morgan Smith. Tony Langford has finally got enough trouble that he's no longer here with us. No, I'm just joking. It's an opening day in Florida, and evidently Tony's name travels so well they wouldn't even rent him a car.
Yeah, I saw that he had some car issues, so maybe he's got a little Uber or a Lyft down there right now, and he can get his car tomorrow morning.
Well, I'm sure he can afford it. We'll figure it out. But, man, we got a special show for y'all tonight. We have TKO softball team, head coach Molly Payne, their travel team, right?
Yes.
And we have Scott Hopkins is going to be coming up with the Red Sox, I believe. And Tony said he's the best coach he knows. So, got some trivia questions. We're going to see if he is or not.
Works for me.
But let's get it real quick, catch y'all up on news in the area. Of course, we'll start with NFL, I guess. Probably not going where you think we're going with this, but 49ers traded up. They're going to get the third pick in this year's draft, and they have told Jimmy Garoppolo they are taking a quarterback.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. And after the pro day yesterday, I think Justin Fields is probably the pick. Ran the fastest 40-time a quarterback's run since Robert Griffin III.
Well, they're saying he's going in probably number 2 and Mac Jones number 3.
I don't know. From everything I've read, it looks like the Jets are happy with the kid from BYU. But, a lot can happen between now and then.
Yeah. Staying with the 49ers, Trenton Williams, Longview High School native, grew up down the street from me, signed the largest deal for an offensive lineman ever.
I saw that. That's good for him.
$138 million. A lot of that money was given in a, what is it called, a signing bonus. And he got like $45 million the day he signed.
That's insane. Insane, but
it's amazing how much those athletes are getting paid now, and of course, it goes back to how much revenue that they're able to provide for the owners.
Yeah,
the TV deal that the NFL got is just amazing, and so there's going to be more and more football on this next year. I'm excited about it. It's been a while since I've been this excited about NFL football. But it's because this past year, just, how we had to go through the season that we did. So.
Yeah, no joke.
And we can't talk about NFL news without mentioning the schedule being expanded to 17 games next year. So I'm excited because I love to play fantasy baseball. And, sometimes I bet pennies on some games with my brother. So I enjoy an extra week of that.
Pennies.
That's right.
Speaking of a game going to 17, I got an email today that 17th game is not included in your season tickets anymore. Not anymore, but it's just not included.
Oh, wow.
So you have to literally pay. Or what I think the Cowboys are going to do is probably sell them off like if you were going to buy them on StubHub.
Almost like a playoff game, probably.
Yeah, and it's just like it really does kind of make me mad. Because you get every game. Now you don't get that 17th game, which will probably be who decides going into the playoffs.
Well,
for the Cowboys, anyway.
For the Cowboys, yes.
Yeah.
But, for your teams that are going to be in the top of their divisions, a lot of times you don't see the starters play all four quarters, and sometimes you don't see them playing at all. So, there's some give and take there. And, I also think that it's good, especially for those stadiums that have had that long history of sellouts. They may be able to bring in a few extra new fans. So it may be a good thing as well.
And these aren't boring football games. They set the schedule up to where teams play each other based on how they finished in the division the previous year. So only first-place teams play first-place teams. So we're going to get the Chiefs and I believe the Packers this year out of this extra game. So it's going to be quality football.
What roster changes have they made? Have they gone up from the 55-man roster?
Not that I know of yet.
Man, I'm surprised they have to. Almost.
I think that they're going to have to. You've got especially at the quarterback position. I think you're going to have more teams, probably tote an extra quarterback now. Just because of the past 2 years, the injuries that we've have seen.
Quarterbacks are hard to come by, and I don't know why in the NFL. They really are.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, what is there, 10 good quarterbacks?
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to include Dak in one of them. But anyway, shout out to Dak. He got his money.
It's because the game's changed so much. You can't win with Kerry Kittles anymore. And who was the guy that won in Baltimore with that Ravens defense?
Flacco,
Before him, the one before him, the other with the Ray Lewis defense.
That was Flacco as well.
I think anybody could have won with the Ray Lewis defense.
It wasn't Joe Flacco?
No, it was.
It wasn't Rex Grossman.
He's on TV now. He's just a career backup quarterback, won him a Super Bowl. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, just a different world, and you need a quarterback to win, and there's only 10 of them in the world that can do it. So
That's rough. What
If
do y'all think about Dak's deal?
I think I said the last time I was here, it is what it is. You can't go into next season without a quarterback. You're built to win now. He was the only one available for money, and you just have to pay the piper.
I'm not a fan of all these salaries, but I can respect the fact that they're getting it because that's what the market is able to bear.
Yeah, I mean, they're 50%. It goes back to the players, if I remember right. Does that sound right?
Of the revenue?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure how they negotiated the last CBA, but it's got to be close. You wouldn't think they'd give up more than that.
Random, I saw where Jason Witten took a high school head coaching job. Oh, speaking of high school head coaching jobs.
We have an Arkansas boy
Y'all's boy, Chad Morris, took the Allen High School job, which there is a stat that blows my mind. This guy, now keep in mind, I'm going to air quotations. He retired, air quotations. He was 74-4, and is no longer the head coach at Allen High School. And from my understanding, it's not because he didn't want to be. A lot of it goes back to evidently there's a kid at quarterback that his dad's superintendent. Huh. And let me tell you all about Allen. If you're not familiar with Allen High School, I think they have like 14,000 students.
Yeah, it's huge.
They have like way more, like 5,000 more than any other school in the state of Texas. Texas High 2 years ago played a team in the playoffs. We were there. I can't remember who they were playing. And their quarterback was committed to Georgia, I think.
And was phenomenal.
He was great. I mean, he was the best quarterback I saw play that year. And he was not even on the depth chart at Allen. Like, he couldn't even play quarterback there.
Wow.
And he transferred and signed with Georgia. Yeah. Like, how is that possible? You know what I mean? Like, you're telling me this kid wasn't good enough to be your third-string quarterback?
It's possible when your enrollment's the size of a Division I college.
Yeah, I mean, it's just –
that's how it's possible.
Well, and Allen has been able to fund their student athletes, quite well with their facilities and equipment, and they've also produced a lot of college athletes. So if you wanted your child and you had the means to move somewhere, that was a great place to plant a flag.
That Allen High School job was marketed as the top job in the nation, like the most coveted job in the entire nation was Allen High School. 2 people turned it down before Chad Morris took it.
Wow, I had not heard that.
I mean, I had talked to some coaches, and I was like, I had text a couple and was like, man, let's go. I'll move to Allen, let's go. And they're like, no, I want that job, And they had made the reference, like this guy was like, one of them said he was like 90-2, another one said he was 70-2, and he ended up being 74-4 and lost his job.
Yeah. No, the expectations there is basically to get into the state final every single year. And I mean, I'm sorry, that's hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who told me. They said they have over 250 football players playing freshman football right now. And to give that somewhat of a comparison, that would probably be more football players than maybe everybody in this town combined at the varsity level.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is impressive.
I mean, it's just when you're choosing from that much, how do you ever lose?
Yeah. You don't. And if you do, you get fired.
Evidently, that's what it is.
Well, and they've got the luxury of you take a school district, the size of Pleasant Grove or Liberty Allo, your best player is going to probably play quarterback. Well, when you have 12 to 15 of those, now you have your best player playing linebacker. You have your best player. You've just got a lot of best on the field at the same time.
I see one of my buddies I grew up with, Tony Rivera, is watching. He said he's coaching down in Gladewater.
What's up, Tony?
You met Tony at the basketball game. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tony's one of my good buddies. He coaches at Gladewater.
My memory's pretty bad, but not that bad. It was 3 days ago.
Oh, yeah. Hey, one of the best players I ever played with. Anyway, all right, let's take a break. We're going to be right back. We'll have Molly Payne, a few players up from TKO softball.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Brian Bolt in Texarkana.
We are back. Morgan Smith, Jay Davis. We are here with Kennedy, otherwise known as Peanut, Dally Landry, and Molly Payne, who is probably the most competitive woman I've ever met in my entire life. How old were our kids when we were playing soccer together? You remember?
Probably, 6 or 7?
Hey, some kids were having fun. Molly's kids, no fun being had. Like, they were there to win, and not just win, to dominate. So, tell me, Dally, what kind of coach is Molly? Does she expect to win every time?
Yeah,
What do you think?
definitely.
Peanut, how is it living with her? You said she's mean? I believe it. I see some of your posts on Facebook, and then I laugh about the radio thing that time. I literally was like, that's Molly.
Yes.
That's so great. Anyway, so tell me how's y'all season going?
Good.
Y'all play travel ball, right? Travel all over the place?
Pretty much.
That must be tired.
Yeah.
Do y'all love softball?
Yeah.
What position do y'all play?
I play short.
Shortstop? Most really athletic? That's the athletic position, right?
Yes.
I'm not a huge baseball fan.
She's actually a year younger than us, so she could actually play in 8 and under. But
Playing up? What is this? Dally? I'm gonna have to remember you when you get a little bit older. We're gonna have you on game day a lot. I have a feeling. You're playing up.
Landry, do you sense any extra pressure when you have the ball in your hand and you're pitching, or do you just do you enjoy that pressure though?
Yeah.
This is one of the questions that I asked the Texas High softball girls. What would you rather have in your hand, the ball pitching or the bat, and trying to put one out in the field?
The ball pitching.
You think just because you have more control?
Yeah.
Tell us how much confidence do you have in your team behind you? Are there some days where you know you don't have your best, but you know you got some good players behind you? Well, tell us about your coach. What all do y'all do during practice that maybe make y'all a little bit different or better than other teams that y'all face?
Well, we run a lot.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of ground balls, and we pitch a lot of pop flies, and we do a lot of hitting.
So make sure that you get your stamina up and you've got the basics taken care of.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Do you think you could strike out Mr. J?
Yeah.
I do. We're not going to challenge that because I don't need that on video.
Hey, Landry, the last kid that said I couldn't hit off of him, I hit a ball over their house.
Oh, wow.
Hey, extremely lucky. Not a baseball player. I just closed my eyes and swung basically and launched one on this kid. He started crying. True story, man.
So, Molly, what do you look at each year when you're trying to develop your teams, and when you start seeing maybe you've got maybe a position or two that's going to come up a little short? How do you overcome that each year?
Well, we've been fortunate with our kids. We've kind of held on to the same kids year over year. We're a speed team, and that's what has really helped us year after year after year. We're the young team this year, so we kind of have to be scrappy, and that helps us every year. I mean, we're fast on the bases, we're fast in the field. We're tiny. We Facebook Live our posts, our games, and so you'll be surprised what other parents say. Sometimes not always good, but most of the time they'll say, "My gosh, they're so tiny. They're so tiny," and then they're like, some on the bad days they'll go, "We just got beat by that little bitty team," So speed, we use that for our advantage, and I love speed players. I love utility players. Some people go, "Hey, where do you play? We play at first or whatever." And I'm like, I like players that's like, if she's having a bad day, she jumps in, or somebody jumps in, or she can play in the outfield. She can play she's a pitcher. She's our backup catcher. She's wherever. So I love utility players. Nothing specific. I don't like people come want to try out for our team and go, well, my daughter's a pitcher, because that don't work. I don't have one spot.
So they're not, I guess, so you're not in one of those leagues where you just have to, y'all just do a draft and you take who you take. No.
We started in the league, as and we've held on to a lot of players over time. But no, now we stay together year after year, and we're all 9U tech players except Dally, which would be an 8U player. So we stay together. We don't lose any players as long as we can. We stick together.
And I'm assuming you played ball growing up, right? You played in college, right?
I did. I played at Texarkana.
Okay. I coached a basketball team this year. It is not the easiest thing I've ever done, to say the least. I really do think you have to love doing it to do it. Like, why do you do this?
just actually that exact thing. I love this game, and that's really, I want to win as much as anybody, but I just really have so much passion for all sports, but mostly softball. And that's just what I try to teach them, is the same passion, and that it is a game that we want to win and we want to play hard, but we just, at the end of the day, it's a game that I love so much. And like I said, one of the big things we're doing this year is we're going to, it's called the Road to the Show tournament, and it's during the Women's College World Series, so we'll be able to go see some the Women's College World Series games, and just keep sharing the passion, from 9 to college.
What's y'all's practice schedule like? It seems like every time I see one of your posts on Facebook, y'all are like in a batting cage or something. I mean,
Yes.
Is it that serious this young?
It is pretty serious.
Yeah.
It starts even earlier than, and then 9U. It really does. Ours is not too crazy. We practice as a team like 2 days a week. But outside of that, I mean, our players they all have hitting coaches. They all have, if they're pitchers, they have pitching coaches and catchers. And they have, they all work outside of practice too.
That's awesome. So where all of y'all travel to? Where all are you going?
This season we go to Ruston, Louisiana. That's one of the nicest parks in the country right now. Such a beautiful place. We've played there. It's all turf. We're anywhere from, like I said, Ruston, Shreveport, Little Rock, Dallas, East Texas as far as White House and Tyler, Longview. Like I said, we'll be in Oklahoma City. So we're just anywhere. We don't really anywhere in the 4 states.
One of the things that I've noticed just with your team tonight is you've got strong parental support.
Yes.
And especially with the travel team, you've got to have those parents that are willing to give their time and money to be able to do that. How has your experience been with sort of managing those parents? Because as a coach, that's also a full-time job as well.
It is. I always refer to us as a small cult. We have a group of kids that really just are good friends. But our parents, we're all in and we're all friends too. I mean, we tailgate, we hang out, we camp, we hang in our hotels. We have a lot of fun. But I do have a zero drama policy as well. I mean, I've had to let some good kids go over time just because I have a zero drama. I don't put up with it at all.
You don't do that at work either.
I don't.
Molly and I are fortunate enough to work with each other. At least I hope she sees it that way.
Yes.
But it's fun to see you excel in both a parental role and a coach role and a work role.
Thank you.
So, Dally, do you have any game day rituals? Is something you just have to do before every game?
Not really.
No. Do you, Landry or Peanut?
No.
So if you have a big game, you don't not wash your socks or something like that? No, none of that?
They're like, no.
Now, Landry, tell me about this game that y'all may play every once in a while, maybe called Mean Coach.
Me and Peanut made up that game. It was for Molly.
So it is for Coach Molly. Okay.
And so we scream at each other, and we're like softball, and we just scream at each other.
That's the real strategic right there. We just scream.
There's nothing wrong with that, but because I'm sure Coach Molly's the first one to tell you congratulations and good job when you're doing the right things as well, right?
Kind of.
All right.
Do you think maybe she just screams because you might not hear if she talks normal?
No, I just think she likes to scream.
I'm the same way when I coach. I can't just talk normal. I got to be loud.
No.
It gets me in trouble.
I'm the same way.
So, where's the next game at?
We are in Longview. In 2 weeks.
Back in my area.
Next weekend, yes.
Those facilities are nice.
Yes.
And y'all play tournaments when you go every weekend, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how many games do y'all typically play in a tournament?
It depends on which side of the bracket we're on. We can play anywhere from, I would say the normal is around, usually they're 4-game guarantee. So, I mean, if you go far, 6 games, and I mean, sometimes we've been on the bad end of 7 to 8 games. So, we've went 4 and out too.
Yeah.
We've had our shares.
And that's what impresses me with some of these, or not some of them, all of these travel teams when they do and go and play those 4 and 7 game tournaments. That's a lot, and that's when that running comes into play. When you're playing those 6th and 7th games, I mean the difference happened back in practice.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let's do this. Hey, we appreciate y'all's time. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with Presley, Sterling, Scarlett.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room, MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
We are back at Walk-Ons with TKO and Coach Molly Payne. Molly, why don't you introduce these young ladies to us?
Okay, this is Presley. Presley's our first baseman. Sterling, she's our center fielder. And Scarlett, she is our right fielder.
Well, girls, how have y'all liked the season so far?
Good. Yeah, it's been good.
Do y'all enjoy the travel aspect? And
Yes.
being able to go on the weekends and play softball?
Yes.
What's the, and I'll let y'all answer individually, what's the most fun that you have? Would you rather be in the field or have the bat in your hand?
The bat in their hand.
Yeah. What about,
I'll go the same.
Yeah.
The field.
you like the field? To me, being in the field was always so much more pressure because when the ball's hit and you don't make a play, everyone gets to sort of stare at you.
Yeah.
Well, Molly, tell us a little bit about what your expectations for these three young ladies are this year.
Expectations are always high with me. Presley, she's new to our team. This is her first real season with us, and she's tall and she's left-handed, which I said you got to learn to play first base. She came from a team that she played a little bit of outfield, a little bit of even shortstop on her other team, and I just said, you're tall and left-handed. You get to play an outfield or you get to catch or pitch or play first base anyways. And she came on to a team that's so strong and, like I said, fast-paced, and she worked her tail off, and she is getting complimented every tournament. Man, y'all's first baseman is saving y'all. She is so good. She's making these long catches and great stretches, and I tell her, I try to tell her because I said, that's her first season. This is, she's 3 tournaments in at first base, and she is great. Scarlett, she has actually been with me the longest. She's the longest player I've had, and we've been together since she was 5. So her and then Sterling, she's our center fielder. If it's up, I expect her to catch it. 95% of the time she does. I mean, she's a great outfielder.
So Scarlett, you've had to put up with Coach Molly the longest. Is that what she said?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Me and Peanut both.
Right. Well, Peanut sort of has to.
Yeah, she don't have much choice.
So, well, playing first base, I had the opportunity to interview the Texas High girls a few weeks ago, and I talked to their first baseman, and I sort of asked her, what do you do, when a bad throw comes, and in her knowledge that she dropped to me is I actually expect every throw that comes to me to be bad, so I'm always making a good play and a good stretch. What have you done to be able to move into that first base role? Because there's a big difference between that and outfield. There's a big difference between that and shortstop. What have you done to sort of, become this good first baseman?
Worked on stretching.
Just worked on stretching. How often do you sort of stare down your third baseman and shortstop every once in a while? Like, come on now.
A lot.
Yeah. Tell them how often have you been doing lessons with your defensive coach?
So it's like that all of the years I've played.
Yeah. So like I said, she came on and she goes to a separate lessons just for defense, and like I said, just coming into that role. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's a big job, and like I said, she's coming from a team that's fast-paced, and she's just picked up the slack.
Well, besides your pitcher, your first baseman's probably going to touch the ball more than the player on the team. So that's definitely a very, very stressful job, and glad you're able to do so and excel at that. As far as center field, that was one of the positions that I played baseball whenever I was younger, and I enjoyed it because I felt like I got to see the whole field, and you definitely get to sort of lead your outfielders out there and sort of, if the ball's in your play, normally the center fielder was able to call the others off. What have you been able to do sort of, in my opinion, that's sort of a leadership role? I mean, what do you do to be able to take on that leadership role game after game?
Just telling my other outfielders, just encouraging them. Like if they make a stop or something, I tell them good job or something, and I've worked really hard on trying to catch them.
Good deal.
She's definitely our cheerleader. She is making sure everybody's up. She's pumping them up. She's always the most excited for everybody.
Well, watching the NCAA finals that are going on right now, one of the things that was brought up was LeBron James and his teams. If you go back and look, the encouragement is one of the things that separates his teams from the others. So that's definitely good, that you're able to encourage your teammates. Because sometimes it's easy to get down after you make a bad players or two.
Yeah.
So, well, girls, what do y'all have as far as expectations for this next tournament? Gonna bring a ring home?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So since you've been playing the longest, Scarlett, right? How many rings do you have in your collection right now?
I've counted them twice, and I have 18 rings.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. Well, Molly, what's the greatest joy that you have coaching?
Just watching these kids grow, like I said, from when they're 5, like I said, and even, one thing I love about the game, and I'm also involved with Texarkana Youth Softball Association, is just seeing kids, from different aspects or different, everybody has a different background or maybe they have different opportunities, is seeing kids just grow to love this game. I see kids that, maybe I coached in different league teams over time, and they'll just, come up and say, you were my favorite coach. And then sometimes, like I said, I'm a tough coach, and we play hard, but I love them hard. And so that's probably the best thing is, like I said, seeing a kid that maybe I coached 3 or 4 years ago that just, or says, hey, when you have a spot on your team, can I come back? And I'm like, you're not our agent, or, whatever. But that's definitely the most rewarding, like I said, just seeing them grow and love this game too.
Well, I didn't ask the earlier group, but how were y'all able to handle just going through COVID and not being able to play as much last year?
Practicing at home.
Just practicing at home a lot?
A lot of tea drills.
Right. A lot of tea drills, I would imagine so. Now, the previous group said that Coach Molly allows y'all to run a lot during practice.
Yes, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So what type of drills do y'all do for running?
Foul pole to foul pole.
Foul pole to foul pole.
Triangles, home, foul pole, then back home.
Yeah, triangles.
Triangle.
Most of that's not really, it's usually punishment.
Yeah, I would find it interesting just to maybe invite Molly to join y'all next time that y'all have one of those foul pole to foul pole runs.
Yeah.
If I make a bad throw, I will.
Is that the drill?
It's the motivator. I'll use that. When we're a little off our game, it doesn't take many triangles, and then we wake up. So it's definitely the motivator at practice.
So we mentioned that your daughter's on the team. Do you sometimes find that that's a little bit difficult to coach your own child?
Yes and no. When she's there, I'm very hard on her, of course. I mean, she's my daughter. Her expectations are high, but they're high for everybody. And when she's there, she's just another one of the kids that like I said, her expectations are sometimes, she catches the bad end sometimes. But for the most part, no, not necessarily. I love it. We've done it a long time together, and she's got a lot of heart. So, like I said, she don't let me down too much. So it's not bad.
Have you modified your toughness over time?
Actually, I have. A few years ago with my other daughter, I came to the realization that I was very, very hard to make happy. It was always, you did good, but next time. You did great, but next time. And sometimes you just need to tell them they did great. They don't really have to hear next time. They'll learn. And so I have someone said even this season that I'm not as hard, but the expectations are always there. I said we'll make errors. We're not perfect. We're 9 years old, and the expectations are high. But I'm an effort coach, and as long as you're going hard and you're giving everything you got, I'll never ask for more. And so we may not always win, but we're going to play to win. But definitely I've learned over time that they are 9 years old and they are kids. And if they're not enjoying it, then they're not going to love this game.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to coach both of my girls in travel soccer. And that element of soccer is definitely very, very competitive. And there's definitely some things that I would have done differently had I had the chance to recoach my oldest daughter and her team, and it truly was out of I wanted them to do their best, and we knew what that best was, but even when you go back and look at our own high school and pre-high school careers, we weren't always on our A game every time, and so I definitely had to learn to sort of reevaluate that a little bit with my players, especially my youngest daughter and her teams.
I think if we look at our even forget our sports lives when we were younger, we think about our work life. We're not always on our A game at work, and we're not always on our A game always. So you got to think about they are 9. They're going to have off days too, and we need encouragement at our own job. Some. You don't need to be beat up all the time. So.
Right. Well, so we've got a tournament coming up. What is y'all's rest of the spring looking like? How many tournaments do y'all have coming up?
We're about 2 to 3 a month. We've slacked off because we're a 9U, so we got 9U pitching arms that have to rest. So we played a lot more in our 8U season. But just to give them a break, pitching arms, catching legs, of course. But we're like I said, we've got Oklahoma City in our and that is in June. Then we're in Dallas for nationals, for the U-Trip Nationals. And so, like I said, we really are anywhere in the 4 states. And our schedule is always subject to change. I tell my parents that we might be on the schedule to go to Reston, and it may pop up, and we may be, anywhere north of Little Rock. It may be a better.
Well, we definitely want y'all to keep us up to date with the successes that y'all have, and we definitely want to share those accolades on our Texarkana Gameday Facebook page. And girls, we look forward to having y'all back as y'all continue to grow, and we'll even have y'all back here when y'all start playing high school softball as well. Something to look forward to.
Thank you so much. We enjoyed it.
We appreciate having y'all, and we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring on a young boys team, the Red Sox. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
we are back. We have the Red Sox with us. We have head coach Scott Hopkins along with Maddox and Sawyer. I'm going to be honest, I've never really heard Tony talk really highly about another coach, but he was like, this guy's the best coach I know.
I appreciate that. I've been doing it a long time.
Well, you've been playing sports for a long time.
Yes, sir.
So I know I had the opportunity. He's a tad older than me, but he was one that I was able to watch growing up, and he did it the right way. So it's good.
I appreciate that.
It's good to see we've got young men coming back and being able to do that, with today's youth. So It's always good.
Well, before we were live, I was like, this Maddox name sounds really, really familiar. And what football team did you play on? Do you remember? No? Well, anyway, he played in the same league as my son. And, I mean, he was just going off. I mean, scoring like 2 and 3 touchdowns a game. Or was it more than that?
Probably more.
Probably more?
Great answer.
Hey, I believe him.
Great
answer. He was one of them when he got the ball, you just weren't going to be able to do anything with it. Do you remember what team you played on?
We play baseball year-round.
Oh, baseball. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So y'all take it serious, huh?
He's got 2 other brothers playing college ball right now, so
oh, wow.
We're kind of straight baseball and work it year-round.
Yeah, so when y'all are a little bit older than me, but I remember when I was growing up playing, like we only played in the spring, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you played, you got drafted to a team, and that's who you kind of played with. Why has it changed so much? Like the girls were on, they're basically playing year-round. I mean, unless I just don't know, I don't remember it being like that 20 years ago.
I don't know if there's a right answer to it. I guess the parents kind of start the deal, but, even with both my other boys, I feel if you play at a highly competitive teams in leagues, select baseball, league baseball, if you keep it at it and work hard off the field as well as during the game and off season, you can develop these kids that they can go further than just high school baseball.
Yeah.
And, I feel that as hard as we work, there's something after high school that these kids can go get an education.
I believe you, and it looks to me like Texarkana's a hotbed for baseball and softball.
Absolutely.
It's like every day you get up, there's somebody that's, committed somewhere, and it's just like, what's going on in Texarkana? Because from my understanding in Longview, which isn't that far away, it's not necessarily like that there.
Mm-hmm.
And the organizations we have here, coaches like you are coaching you around, I mean, it's just, they're going to be like, I can almost take any kind of success I've ever had and take it all the way back to sports. Somehow, some way. All the way back. Like, these kids now, I'm sure Molly does if she hears me, but when's the last time like a kid is really just, grown-ups just went in on them in sports? I'm sure you do because we grew up in that era. But, like, you get into a professional work environment, there isn't a whole lot you can say to me that's really just going to make me quit. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And a lot of these kids now, I don't know that they're getting that same – we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
And it looks like they probably are if they're playing for the Red Sox or TKO.
That's correct. And there's I kind of coach it at 2 different levels. That 11 and 12 and under, we have fun. We do a lot of fun things. Try not to be as strict, but yet make them understand discipline and what it takes. But then, there's another level after that we start doing track in the off season. We start doing a lot of weights, trying to develop by high school baseball and come in as freshmen ready to play on the varsity level.
Man, I've been saying that since we started Game Day. Like, all the success these teams are seeing in high school, it's been football, baseball, it all had to start in Little League.
I agree.
I really do believe that.
Well, and what's so funny in this area, you still have some young men that are playing starting positions with Pleasant Grove, Texas High, Liberty Isle, Arkansas High that did not have that travel ball background. But if you watch closely, you can definitely tell a difference between which ones did and which ones didn't.
Yes.
And that's kudos to the coaches, and I mentioned during the previous segments of tell us a little bit just about your parents' involvement as well.
Yes, your parents on your travel teams are very, very important. Because it's mostly in this 4 states area: Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas. So any given day we may be traveling on a Thursday or a Friday and staying all weekend. So the parents have to be bought in as much as the kids. So, and the practices are tough, they're long, but at the end goal, those kids are going to get signed somewhere. If they make it through the gauntlet and they're still here, but you got to be very careful at this age. If you do it and you overdo it, you're going to run them off by the time it's time to really get to work.
Right.
So there's a fine line, I feel, that you got to let these have fun and understand, which everybody, but then there's another level that you got to take it once they start getting close to that high school baseball age.
Yeah.
Now, Maddox, what positions do you play?
Shortstop.
And do you prefer shortstop over football, or do you prefer which one? Are you like them both the same?
I like baseball better.
Baseball better. And Sawyer, what about you? What position do you play?
Second.
Second base. Well, what do you think that y'all can attribute the success that y'all have to? You just got some good players on your team and a good coach.
I was about to say answer wisely. I'm sure he has a conditioning day.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, Sawyer, how is it having your dad as a coach?
Good.
Good.
Well, see, my kids would say the exact opposite. My kids are like, like you're so hard on me, and you're not hard on anybody else. I do something wrong, you make me run. You don't make anybody else do that. I'm like, well, you can be mean to your own kids.
Absolutely. We're throttled way back right now with these guys, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Walker, my son goes to school with them, and Walker's playing like have fun baseball.
That's correct.
And y'all are playing winning baseball, which there's nothing wrong with either one at this age. But I was told, like, man, if you wait in this area, if you're going to wait till your kids, let's say 10 years old, and like, I'm going to expect them to do, like, they're going to be so far behind.
They will be. But that's not saying with, it takes parents too, that there's the facilities and the places in this town to get the right kind of lessons and the right time of coaching to be able to catch back up. If they might not be that talent level to travel yet, but that's not saying they can't get there if they have desire and want to.
Yeah.
We have the ability, we have the ability to make that happen.
And you mentioned the facilities that we have here in town. That's what I've been so impressed with over the past 5 to 10 years, or what has developed for our young men and ladies to be able to go in. And, I mean, there's one facility in particular downtown. I mean, when you drive by it, you're hearing the bats.
We're there 4 nights a week.
And, I mean, it's just it's impressive to see. When you've got rainy days or snow days or whatever the case may be, you've got kids that can still go in there and work on their craft.
That's correct. And the professional baseball players that are helping there that have came back to Texarkana to help, not only if you've got a good heart and the ability to want to learn and play baseball and have that drive, they have the connections to get you somewhere, whether it be D2, D1, NAIA. You as a parent have to understand the level that your kid is at, but then once you realize that, they have the ability to get him placed somewhere, and that goes a long ways.
Yeah, I must keep my eye. I don't really follow a lot of baseball. I'm just a big football fan. Are we talking about sticks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever they're doing, like, man, we study recruiting, and we try to know exactly like what does it take for these kids to get to the next level. Not so much in baseball, but in other sports. But whatever they're doing, whatever system they have, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it or will see anything like it. I mean, it's just a cool organization. The uniforms look amazing. And if you're playing for them, you're going somewhere.
Absolutely.
If you want to.
Absolutely.
Shane, Frank, Chase, I mean, they're doing. They're godsend to this town.
They've got a great thing going, and they're teaching the young men how to be winners on and off the field.
Absolutely.
It's funny. I've known Frank for quite a while, and I mean, his expectations. His thing is when I go to a baseball game that I'm not coaching you. When I see you, I don't want to know whether you're winning or losing. I want your attitude to be, behind your teammates, and and it starts at this level on up, and that's what's so impressive.
That's correct.
So where are y'all playing at? So y'all travel?
Well, this right here, we're a league team.
Okay.
And then we have a travel, but right now we're just out at the Dixie baseball parks.
Okay.
Spring Lake Park.
Love it. You guys enjoy it a lot?
So we just got second place last weekend in a tournament there. So the Huggins tournament.
Good deal.
So they did real well.
I may have to come out and watch y'all play then. I know Walker talks about y'all all the time.
They have a lot of fun. Yes, sir.
Maddox, I'm going to draft you on my football team next year. No joke, you're probably going to be my first pick.
He's a dude.
Yeah, is he ever? Who you played, running back? Is that all you played? You just played running back, right?
I played quarterback too.
Were you the quarterback? I mean, just torched us. It took me half a season, but I finally figured out how to contain. Couldn't contain Maddox. Maddox, did you wear the headband too? Was that you? No? All right, I get thinking about somebody else. Well, so what do y'all like most about baseball?
The challenge.
What do you think?
I don't know.
The competition level that y'all are playing at, I mean, do you love the competition? I'm sure Coach Hopkins finds fun ways to do that.
Well, Sawyer, how was it being able to watch your brothers play?
Fun.
I mean, I remember seeing you at all the Pleasant Grove games, maybe not paying attention to the game all the time, but most of the time you were watching it. So what do you take away from your brothers? What do you see them do that you want to try to do as well on the baseball field?
Get a home run.
Get a home run?
Yeah.
So have you gotten one of those yet this year? Sweet. Congratulations.
That's more than Jay's got in his life.
That's right. I've got one. It was off Ricky Duckett, so I just want to put that out there.
Well, guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back with Tripp joining us. We are back. We added Josh Scott with us. We got our man Trip here. Trip, how's it doing today?
Good.
Y'all practice today, or you got the day off? Did you got to come up here?
Day off and we're coming up here.
When do y'all normally practice? You don't know? Anyway, man, Josh is on with us, whose son is an absolute stud on the. I haven't seen him play baseball, but I do know in flag football, he can beat you by himself.
He's a hard worker. I will.
Well, what team was he on?
In football?
Yeah.
The Texans.
So he was on Pirtle's team on football and basketball?
No, Pirtle was Rams.
Okay. Trying to think who all was on the Texans, but yeah, I can't get over how good Maddox is at football. Just wait till he gets in high school, Jay. Anyway, man, we were talking to Coach a little bit about, just this age and the transit, this particular area compared to others, just how, everything great going on with baseball. It seems just like a hotbed. If you want to get a scholarship, different things like that. What sets y'all apart? 'Cause, I mean, like I was telling him, I don't know that Tony's ever been like, hey, these guys are great. And he literally was like, hey, we have to get them on here. They're great.
I think it's the hard work that they put in at such a young age. They got a lot of help that we didn't have at a young age.
Yeah.
And I think, that when the parents, the coaches put the time and the effort in, it shows. And I think if more parents would do that and coaches, it would show a lot more.
Trip, what position do you play?
Catcher.
Catcher? Do you like swinging the bat or playing defense more? You don't know?
Defense.
Defense? Do you like being the catcher? Walker played a little catcher last night in his game. It didn't go too well for him.
Catcher can be tough at times.
Yeah.
Can be tough. Well, what do you like most about your team and just the season that's going on so far?
I like how our coaches put a lot of work in us to make us better, and it really pays off.
And you got second place in this last tournament?
Yes, sir.
Pretty solid.
Got a big old ring, too.
All right. So was that your first ring, or do you have a couple of rings in your collection already?
That's my second.
Second ring. That is awesome. Well, coaches, tell us a little bit about just the community support that basically is required just to get these games going. I know you and I talked a little bit off the air, but it takes more than just a bat and a ball to be able to put a program together.
Absolutely. I've got a partner. His name is Bob White, and we own Arkansas Youth Sports scoreboards. We donate scoreboards and billboards to these 12 and under programs across the country and mainly the state of Arkansas to mainly help these kids and these programs just to give back.
Right.
So we probably got 12 up in the around the city of Texarkana right now, and they really help us, and in turn it really gives back to the kids.
Right. Well, I know in my previous profession I worked for one of the soft drink companies here in town, and the Redwater complex out there. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the organization that helped get those paid for, because those things aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
And just baseball in its own is not necessarily a cheap sport. Just because of the field upgrades that you're seeing out there and just maintaining those fields. What else do you see out there as far as the community involvement? We talked a little bit about just the strengths of having good parents out there as well.
I think there's a lot of great sponsors. All these other there's individual sponsors that really help. Josh and his wife Lauren are putting on some. We're raising money right now throughout our baseball team, and they're really doing some great fundraisers. So, with the parents of the baseball team. So all that and in when you're traveling and when you're going around all these states, it takes a lot of money. So, we appreciate the local businesses that really get behind us and back and help these kids.
Well, what do you see being the biggest advantage that you have this year over last year with COVID?
COVID was terrible. It just decimated what we had going on with these kids, and we just had to shut it down for almost a year. And it's just that here in the last 2 months, we've really been able to start coming back. We can have practices. The baseball parks are open out there. And, it was just, to a 7 and 8, these young kids that need to be out playing and keeping them cooped up in a house playing an Xbox. It's just, that's just, in my opinion, a terrible thing. We need to get out and, back when we were kids and have to go outside and tell you to be home by dinner.
Yeah.
And go out and play, and I don't think they had the ability to do that. It just took away a year from them.
Well, Tripp, how excited are you about being able to play this year's baseball season?
I really am.
Well, what were some of the things that you were looking forward to the most this year?
I don't know.
You don't know? Just being able to play?
So,
Just being able to put the ball in play. I like that.
Well, guys, we appreciate y'all coming on. Let's take a quick break. Best of luck rest of the season, by the way. We really appreciate y'all coming on.
Yes, sir.
And once again, Tony, I don't know, he loves you guys.
We love Tony, too. Tony
You're
and
the
I
first person that's
go.
ever told me that.
Tony and I go way back.
Do y'all?
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back. We will have probably, I guess, one of the hottest pitching performances of the season Gage Bellotti put on last night. We'll have him on next.
That was impressive.
Very much so. Thank y'all.
Bring us in, Frank.
Oh, Lord. Welcome back to Walk-Ons here. This is Frank Sides with Morgan Smith and Jay Davis. We're joined by Gage Bellotti.
Baller.
That's right. I had to bring him on tonight because of what he did last night. I was at home, and I got a box score sent to me, and I had to do a double take. I didn't believe that it was real. Did you strike out 16 batters last night?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, I did.
He posted it, and I immediately text somebody, be like, is this right? And they're like, yeah, it's right. I'm like, because I thought Frank, I didn't know what he was up to.
Yeah.
But you don't see those every day.
No. So tell us a little bit about how that went down, because we weren't there. Unfortunately, it was on the road at Gilmer last night.
I'm glad it was against Gilmer, though.
I actually had no idea how many strikeouts I had till I finished the game. As I was pitching, I knew that I was getting up there, like during the 6th, 7th, and then there at the 8th inning. I really wasn't keeping track while I was pitching. I was kind of too in the zone, but I got the news from my dad, actually, after the game. He was like, "Did you know you had that many strikeouts?" I said, "I had no idea." I thought it was a typo at first. I thought there's like maybe somebody hit the wrong key on the keyboard or something. But no, yeah, that was actually how it was, and I was very stoked to find out about that.
What was working for you last night? What was the out pitch?
The fastball curveball combo. That's really what kept me going last night with the strikeouts. I finally was able to correct it, the curveball, because the past 2 weeks that I've been pitching, the curveball was not there. It was not anywhere at its best, and I just made. I was in the bullpen with Coach Fowler, and we just made a few adjustments, and then I was like, yeah, this is it. And then I started throwing that in the game, and clearly it showed that it was working. So did something right.
That's right. I remember talking about this last time you were on the set with us, how articulate you are, and offering you a job at Gameday if you had an off day to come call a baseball game with us. Morgan wasn't here that week.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
After watching his first interview, I was like, yeah,
he's got
he'll be all right.
Well, I see your dad a lot at the gym. Unfortunately, it's embarrassing. As another man, he's out here lifting 800 pounds ahead of his shoulder, over his head, right? He told me today that you guys had talked a little bit about sleep schedule and kind of getting out of your own head. So what changed from the last outing until today as far as that goes, or if anything?
I really actually, I was talking to him the other day, and I said, I really want to be at like my peak physical, mental performance. And I said, how do I do that? Because he knows way more about that than I do.
I can confirm this man is large.
Big man. And he gives me a game plan. He's like, all right, we're going to go to bed at this time. We're going to eat this kind of food. Him and my mom are cooking dinners, and I'm just, I kind of fixed everything up, and I really just felt just more energized, more alive, just kind of, I didn't realize how big diet and just sleep schedule, just those two alone are such a huge factor in game performance. And that really hit me last night when I was feeling fantastic last night. And that's because of the simple changes.
We sat up here with two, I'm going to call them Little League coaches, and both of them said the exact same thing. You can take a lot of success back to parents. Well, that's what we just heard.
Yeah.
Definitely. For sure.
Well, I was able to watch your team play whenever y'all beat Pleasant Grove, and that's been a hurdle for many years for Liberty Yalo, and I was
about to get him.
I was impressed. I was impressed with y'all. But one of the things that while I was watching the game, your size compared to the rest of your teammates, you're on up there. So what do you bring to baseball as far as just with your size? 'Cause, to me, it was already intimidating just seeing you out there on the field. But, as far as being able to use that size, being able to use that strength, do you think that that's a positive when you're on the pitcher mound, or do you sometimes think that hey, I wish I was 20 pounds lighter, or whatever the case may be?
Yes, I am beyond blessed to have the body that I have, and I've decided to use it as well as I could. I'm tall. I'm a big, tall guy, and I'm sure that's an intimidating thing to see as a hitter. I used to do the same thing with my brother. My brother was way bigger than me, and he would be on the mound pitching, and I would freak out. But other than that, the physical part of it, it's just the strength aspect where I'm able to use my size and height to my advantage. Just being able to throw faster fastballs and throw a curveball that breaks 2 more inches, and it's the little things like that throw people off, and that's another tool in the belt, for me to use. And
to touch on that subject, have you ever attempted to hit a golf ball? I want to see that.
I used to compete in long drive tournaments.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Serious?
Yes.
This kid.
This isn't fair. Life has given this kid everything.
No joke. Yeah. I was going to
want to borrow some of it.
I don't delete anything, and I cannot find this picture of you picking LE. I don't delete anything.
Oh, that hat. Yes.
Yeah.
The hat. By the way, I graduated from Pleasant Grove. I bleed a little black and gold at times. And so anytime that I don't pick Pleasant Grove, or I'm not always 100% behind them,
He's like a congressman or something. He's not getting voted in next time.
Run against him. You'd win. Hey, he said I used to compete in long drive contests. Like he just got bored with it and moved on to just striking people out.
I'm about to be bored with golf too, but not because I'm good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Man, like, tell me, what was it feeling like last night? Because I mean, you had to just been like, is it one of the things you see on TV where everybody's like, get away from him? You know, is it one of those kind of deals?
Well, kind of. I was really focused. I mean, I tend to just be super calm when I'm pitching. I picked that up when I was super young, and even my dad tells me that. He says I got ice water in my veins.
Nice.
When I'm pitching. Nothing really bothers me. So when those 8 innings that I threw were definitely the longest 8 innings I've ever pitched. The first time I've ever done that, but it felt like it went by so quick just because of how determined I was to do my best, to do exactly what I needed to get the next guy out, or do whatever it takes just to make sure nobody's on base.
So Tyson was at that game, my friend from Gilmer, and his son plays for Gilmer, and he was like, man, that was the best high school pitching performance I've ever seen.
Yeah, and so we weren't there, but based on the box score, the Gilmer pitcher was on one last night too, right? Like your team was scoreless through 7. If they wouldn't have scored in the 8th inning, he wouldn't have got to pitch the 9th simply because your pitch count had gotten a little high, right?
Yes, it was 108 pitches.
Wow. Okay, so LE scored 3 in the top of the 8th, and you were able to close it down. That's how it went down last night. So
wow.
And so will you be able to get back into your regular your pitching schedule, or are those 8 innings going to be enough to push you off by a game?
Oh no. Every Tuesday is when I pitch. So me and Coach Fowler, we got this down. We got it to a science. Exactly how to recover, exactly what to do to make sure that my arm's healthy. And I listen to him, and I do what I need to do, and that's how I stay ready for the next game.
Yeah. So how does that work in a positive way? Having a coach that pitched that long as a professional, how does that help you when it comes to making tweaks and having the confidence knowing that this man, when he tells me something, I need to listen to him?
Oh, it's awesome because I know exactly what he knows what he's talking about.
You don't have to question that at all.
Yeah. So that's a big plus for me because he knows exactly what's best, and I don't doubt him one bit. So.
Well, last night, how'd you do at the plate? Was your mind, when you're pitching, are you in one headspace, or are you at the plate? Does something change? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's like that. That's how baseball goes sometimes. But I was definitely not in my best mindset at the plate. But
your teammates were okay with it, I promise.
Yeah, they didn't have too many issues with that. But I was leading off yesterday. And the game plan was to just get a base hit and have our pinch runner run for me so that I can get ready to pitch again. But, there were, I believe there were 2 hits. 2 hits that I got that got me on base and out of 4 at-bats. So it was
an okay night.
It was okay hitting.
Get out of here.
But 2 for 4, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So what other position do you play besides pitcher?
I'm a third baseman, and I was previously a first baseman, and also a right fielder. But I don't really do that anymore. I'm mainly just a corner guy, and we've got some really good first basemen already. So he stuck me on third base, and that's where I've been ever since this year, actually.
So when do you pitch again?
Next Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And is that at home?
That is a home game.
Okay. Who are you playing?
PG.
Oh, well, we will be there for that. I can assure everyone watching we will bring you that.
Awesome.
I'll have to look at the schedules. Just don't be assuring people of that.
I'm fairly confident we'll be able to bring that one,
but more than likely.
Yes, that's a better way to work
More than
that.
likely.
Yes.
I take that back. It's an away game. It is away. It's not home.
Well,
that's what you get for assuring people.
That's right.
Sorry about that.
How's that phrase
plus,
go?
we can't have Jay picking LE twice in one season.
I can if he's pitching.
Well, Jay, man, we appreciate your time coming on with us. Congratulations, man, on a huge night.
Thank you.
You got anything?
No, just glad to see the success out there, and I mean, especially when you can put it against any team but PG. I'm all there for you. But no, it's good. It's good to see that success, and that's what I love about game days. We're able to celebrate for you and with you, because I mean, it's neat to allow our community to understand. We've got some dudes that also play baseball. You know, I think a lot of times, you know, people sort of just say, "Hey, we got dudes on the football field." Well, we've got dudes on the baseball field as well. So it's fun to hear about it, and I look forward to seeing you pitch.
Yeah,
thank you.
We've got a basketball dude too. Just say the least.
Yeah, we definitely got a basketball dude.
Just one more reminder that we're going to be bringing you the Arkansas High Magnolia game tomorrow. So tune in at 5 o'clock. We'll have that live, our first game out there. That's it for me, Morgan.
All right, Gage, you got any words of wisdom for any young players that might be sitting in the room?
Young players, go to bed at a decent time. That's all I got to say.
And hope you turned out 6'4".
All right, that's going to be it for us. We will see you next Wednesday.